The Triumph Rocket 3 is a three-cylinder motorcycle made by Triumph Motorcycles Ltd. At 2,294 cc's it had the largest displacement engine of any mass-production motorcycle, as of September 2010. The name Rocket 3 is derived from the 1968 BSA motorcycle, the Rocket 3, which was also produced as the Triumph Trident. History: the Rocket 3 project started in 1998, led by Triumph product range manager Ross Clifford, and started with a lot of research especially in the USA where big cruisers were selling well. The main competitors were the Harley-Davidson Ultra Glide and the Honda Goldwing, so the initial idea was to develop a 1,600 cc's performance cruiser. The in-house designer was John Mockett, designer of the Hesketh V1000, the Tiger and the new Nostalgia Bonneville. He started work with David Stride, Gareth Davis and Rod Sivier working around an inline three-cylinder engine. At the start of the project, inline 4 and a V6 engine configurations were looked at, but the longitudinally mounted triple design led to the design concept codenamed C15XB Series S1. Mockett experimented with futuristic styling that included ray gun mufflers and a large chrome rear mudguard, but consumer focus groups did not like it. The S2 model was a simplified version with a more traditional rear mudguard and several features that were to make it through to the final design. Once again, the feedback from market research was that it was still too radical, so the lines were simplified and smoothed out to create the Series S3. Part of the reason for the secrecy was competition from other manufacturers. Yamaha launched the 1,670 cubic centimeters, badged as a 1,670 cubic centimeters, engine in 2002, with the introduction of the Roadstar Warrior, and Honda launched the VTX 1800, so a decision was made to go for a displacement of 2,294 cc's. The first engine was built in summer 2002 and tested in the autumn. Twin butterfly valves for each throttle body were used to increase control and allow the ECU to vary the mixture flow and ignition map according to the gear selected and speed. The torque curve is modified for each gear ratio, enabling over 90% of the engine Euro-1 registered trademark S-torque output at 2,000 RPMs, giving the high levels of flexibility that the designers needed. The 1500W starter motor on the Rocket 3 puts out as much power as the engine on the very first Triumph motorcycle, Siegfried Bettmann's 1902 1.75 horsepower single. The final design of the S3 prototype had a large tubular steel twin-spine frame, designed by James Colebrook. Andy Earnshaw was responsible for designing the gearbox and shaft drive to a 240/50 ZR16 bike-specific rear tire. High-specification front brakes were twin 4-piston calipers with 320 mm floating discs, and the rear brake, developed specifically for the purpose, was a single twin-piston caliper and 316 mm disc. Ride handling is controlled by purpose-built rear shocks and 43 mm inverted front forks. In 2003, the prototype was renamed the Rocket, following market research, continuing the heritage of the BSA Rocket 3/Triumph Trident motorcycles. It was unveiled in the USA on August 20, 2003, in San Antonio, Texas. The Rocket's European launch was at the International Motorcycle Show in Milan, Italy on September 16, 2003. Sold in the UK from the spring of 2004, it was awarded Machine of the Year by Motorcycle News at the 2004 NEC Motorcycle Show. The Australian launch was in Sydney in August 2004, with 230 deposits taken before any had been shipped into the country. Reception: despite extensive market research, the Rocket 3 has had difficulty finding its niche. Originally intended to break into the USA's lucrative cruiser market, the Triumph struggled to find acceptance among Harley-Davidson's ultra-traditional riders, who have barely come to terms with Harley-Davidson's own V-Rod. The 2009 Thunderbird competes more successfully with Harley-Davidson bikes. Triumph is spreading its focus. The Rocket 3 is now in the muscle bike and street fighter market, where the Yamaha V-Max has found success, while the Rocket 3 Touring is making inroads to the market for large touring machines. Models Rocket 3 . The original model was released in 2004 and has remained in production with only minor modifications other than a change of engine color from silver to black in 2005. This model was awarded Motorcycle Cruiser Magazine's 2004 Bike of the Year, Motorcyclist's 2004 Cruiser of the Year, and Cruising Rider Magazine 2005 Bike of the Year. This model is the newest exhibit at the UK National Motorcycle Museum. Rocket 3 Classic introduced in 2006, the Classic version has rider floorboards, different shape silencers and pullback handlebars. More color choices were added and the pillion seat was modified to improve comfort. In June 2007, Triumph used viral marketing to promote the Rocket 3 Classic by posting a well-made spoof production video to YouTube and bike enthusiast websites. As of September 2012, the video had more than 1.2 million views. Rocket 3 Roadster The 2010 Roadster is the most powerful bike in the Rocket 3 lineup, with a claimed 163 lb-ft torque and 146 bhp power, as well as a dual exhaust, one per side, instead of the previous 2-and-1 layout. Triumph calls it the ultimate muscle street fighter. Rocket 3 Tourer The short-lived 2007 Tourer limited edition model was just a classic model with the addition of a windscreen, panniers, backrest and luggage rack from the factory, and a choice of two-tone paint schemes. Rocket 3 Touring Triumph began developing the Rocket 3 Touring version in February 2004 following the launch of the original model, to target the large cruiser market which represents 50% of all U.S. motorcycle sales. As well as a new design for the steel frame and swinging arm, the Touring model has more torque at lower revs Euro 209 Nm at 2025 rpms, but less horsepower at the top end. New features include tank-mounted instruments and a scrolling switch on the handlebar to set the clock and indicate fuel ranges. The 5-spoke design used on the Rocket 3 was replaced with billet aluminium slotted wheels and narrower tires was specified to improve steering with a 180/70 x16 rear tire to make it easier to fit detachable panniers that come as standard, together with a removable windscreen and Kyber rear shock absorbers. References. External links, official Rocket 3 website.